Hello everyone, here's Paul from rmpforex.com and welcome to the weekly review of 4 major cryptocurrencies. As every Thursday, I will take a look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Ripple against US dollar. And I would like to remind you guys that you can vote for the 5th cryptocurrency. So if you want me to review the cryptocurrency that you are interested in, just leave your vote in the comment section below, and the cryptocurrency that will collect most votes, I will take a look at it during my next review next Thursday. Right, so let's go straight into charts. Before we proceed, just make sure you read through the risk disclaimer. It is very important. So with Bitcoin, if you'll remember my last review, I mentioned this FZR down, and I said that this pivot point here protects the trend down. As you can see, the pivot point is still not broken, but for me, there is a very important moment on the smaller time frame thing that based on Master Forex V technical analysis called series of FZRs. So here we have an FZR of H1, then later on we had an increment of wave level, and we had an FZR of higher time frame. So this is called series of FZRs. And now we have a trend phase of H1 time frame, which is going like that, and that trend phase had inside itself a pivot point that was here. So as you can see, that pivot point is broken. So this trend up is now finished, and this is the new reference point. So once we will break through this reference point, then trend created by that FZR will proceed, and the pivot point will move into that section. So FZR series means that through the series of FZRs, we can increase the wave level of the correction, and that correction could grow into a new trend up. So this might be the case in the Bitcoin, but we don't forget that H4 trend is protected by this pivot point. So as long as we are below this pivot point, the trend phase of H4 remains, and I will be still looking for some sell positions. But for me, I cannot open any new trades until I get enough confirmation that this trend up is finished and it will not proceed through the new series of FZRs. So that's the idea for Bitcoin, guys. Coming back here, this is the trend that I'm following at the moment, and this is the pivot point, and I have to wait until this wave will finish. Again, Master Forex V technical analysis allows me go with the market step by step, and if something will be changed, I will know exactly what to do in that moment. So for you, if you want to learn those reference points, if you want to know how to go step by step with the market, I invite you to join the RMP Forex training, which is 3 months training where I personally will guide you through all those Master Forex V technical analysis regularities and instruments, and will teach you everything that I know based on Master Forex V technical analysis. All right, so let's go to the next cryptocurrency, which is Ethereum against US dollar. So Ethereum, if you will remember my last review, I mentioned this pivot point, and I said that as long as this pivot point is not broken, trend phase down will proceed. Trend phase that was created by this FZR, and as you can see, the whole last week we had a trend phase down. And that trend phase broke through the new lows and created a new higher time frame FZR, which is here, FZR of D1 time frame down, and the pivot point stays the same. And the logic of that pivot point is that it is protecting the trend down. As long as this pivot point is not broken, trend phase of H4 and D1 will remain down. For me to come back and start looking for some new buy positions, I need an FZR of daily time frame up. But before that will happen, first we need a wave that will stop the trend, that will break through the reference point, and then another wave, and then an FZR, and then from that place I can start use my trend follow trending system up. But before that happen, we can still go with the trend down. We can come back into a flat and get stuck in this flat for a long time. So for me, there is no question about buy positions. So I will be looking for some new sell positions, or in the worst case scenario, I will just stop trading and wait until we get out from the flat phase. But for now, this pivot point is still intact, trend is still down, and that's the idea for Ethereum. Let's go next, which is Litecoin against US dollar. Litecoin, if you'll remember my last review, here is the H1 pivot point that is protecting the trend of H1, which is broken now. Here is the pivot point that was protecting the trend of H4, but I would like to start from daily time frame. We have here 2 new reference points. or rather old ones, but we still have them. If we will go and break through this reference point, then we will have daily FZR up, and then Litecoin will move into a trend phase, and then I can start use my trend following trading system after that point. On the other hand, if we will break through this reference point, then we will have an FZR of all time frames down, and in that case I will just do nothing, because it will be not very interesting for me to sell Litecoin after that point and try to work with this trend down. As long as we are between those two reference points, we are still in daily flat phase. So let's go to a smaller time frame. Here you will remember from my last review, here is that FZR of H4 down, and this is the pivot point that is protecting this trend of H4 down. And also, if you'll remember my last review, I mentioned this pivot point, and I said that once we will break through this pivot point, we will stop that wave. And as you can see, also we created a H1 FZR up, which means also for me that this FZR stops that trend. So H4 is now back into a flat phase based on that H1 FZR. So I will not have to wait until this pivot point will be broken. I'll just go to H1 time frame to show you. Here you can see that's the H1 FZR. As you can see, also pivot point here is now broken, and this wave has stopped. So now I have two new reference points that are like that. So if we will break through this reference point, I will have a H4 FZR up, and then I can start use my trend following trading system and try to buy and work with this trend. And if we will go and break through this reference point, then the H4 trend phase will proceed, and possibly we will go to renew the new lows of all time frames. But as long as we're between those two reference points, H1 and H4 remains in a flat phase. And as you know, flat phase is created for traders to lose their money. Right, so let's go next. Next is Ripple against US dollar. Not much is changed with Ripple. If you remember my last review, I mentioned about this pivot point, and I said that as long as this pivot point is not broken, the trend phase that is created by this H4 FZR down is still intact. And as you can see, the same logic, the same pivot point is still intact, same reference point. So as long as it's not broken, the trend phase of Ripple down will proceed. But if we will break through this reference point, then we'll come back to H4 flat phase and possibly also to daily flat phase. That's the very quick idea about Ripple. We will see how it goes and what will happen during the next 7 days. A little bit of fundamental analysis, or my opinion about it. You probably heard last news about Google adding a ban to cryptocurrency advertisements. Earlier in this year, we had Facebook that banned cryptocurrency ads. So for some people that might sound very negative news, or might sound that that's it, cryptocurrency market is now gone. But for me, that shows that Google and Facebook and all those bigger companies are just helping out in protecting the main cryptocurrencies. So they are helping out, they're banning all the ICOs that are not valid or are scam ICOs. They are helping out to ban the advertisements of all scam coins, of all scam tokens. So we will end up through those bans, we will end up in having a cleaner Bitcoin, cleaner Ethereum, and the bigger cryptocurrencies that are there on the market, they will have better reputation. And that ban, and for me, it's good news actually for the main cryptocurrencies. So if you are panicking, and if you're thinking that these two facts or these companies are trying to push cryptocurrency market down, so my opinion, they are just helping the cryptocurrency market, and that will even help to increase the reputation of cryptocurrency market. So that's it, guys. Hopefully that video will give you some new thoughts, some new ideas. If you have any questions or comments or thoughts, feel free to post in the comment section below. Also, don't forget that you can vote for your favorite cryptocurrency, and the cryptocurrency that will collect the most votes in the comment section below, I'll review that cryptocurrency during my next review next Thursday. And I wish you good luck for the upcoming week. For those who are still not subscribed to my channel, I invite you to subscribe. Here is the button for you. Click to subscribe, and I will talk to you the next Thursday.